Hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about should you live near your Filipinas family or not? Stick around. So I want to talk a little bit about living near your Filipinas family or not. What are some of the pros and cons to that? Should you or shouldn't you? So a lot of people don't really think about this. Sometimes it can be problematic. Sometimes it can be fantastic. It just depends. You know, if you come out here and move to the Philippines, you get married, or just example, you have a living girlfriend. A lot of people don't think about living near their family. There's a lot of benefits if you do live near the family. One, if you have kids, they are more than willing to take care of your kid at any time. If you want to go somewhere for a week, even if you have a pet, it makes things very simple. Another couple other benefits is one, most Filipinos are very, very family oriented. So them living by family helps with, you need separation, for example. You need some time apart. You just need some alone time. She's got her family there. She can go there and hang out. She can go see her nephews and nieces, her aunts, her uncles, her parents. And that makes, I actually have heard from a lot of Westerners have told me that a lot of marriages that have ended in the West was because they were simply lonely. I had one guy message me one time and he told me that he met a great Filipina. They moved out to some farm in Ohio, and it was very, very isolated. They had no neighbor around for like half a mile. And she ended up leaving him because she was just lonely. And I think a lot of people forget the fact that Filipinos are very, very social. They're used to having their neighbors right next to them, their families right next to them, and when you take that away, it can be very hard for Filipino. They need to be around family and a lot of neighbors. Some of the Westerners that I have met that have had the most successful marriages have lived in areas where their Filipino wife has joined like a Filipino community and had other Filipinos to hang out with. So that brings me back to here. If you take her and you move to a different island, she's going to be a bit more clingy than normal. She's going to want to be with you 24/7. It's hard to get that separation time. A lot of people don't think about that. And also for some Filipinos, when they have a Western husband or boyfriend, sometimes it creates problems with them. A lot of the family, all of a sudden, they start messaging them. They want, hey, can we borrow money? They also get it too, not just the Filipinas. And so even for her, she can get a lot of pressure. Not only the Western guy, but your Filipino partner can also get a lot of people messaging, hey, I know you have a Western boyfriend or husband. Can we borrow some money till payday? And so sometimes separated is good. Again, it's hard to weigh out which one is better. There's pros and cons for both. However, you probably really need to vet the family. You really need to see what kind of a family they are. Are there signs of somebody asking for money right away? Are they coming over all the time already? If they're dropping in constantly, coming over and eating at your house all the time, if they're borrowing, money, and the word borrow typically means to give, not it's not a loan. It's usually you give the money and that's it. So it's something you really should test the waters first before you make that decision. Maybe initially it's okay to live somewhat near the family. I think that has more benefits than living away from the family. However, if the family tends to have some of the warning signs, coming over all the time, eating at your house all the time, wanting to borrow money, and you don't want to give up your girl, then at that point, that might be time for you to think, okay, maybe we should move to a different island, and maybe you don't have to leave the island. Maybe you just need to move to a city that's an hour away or 2 hours away. Though I have noticed Filipinos are very well connected. They have family and friends everywhere. It's really sounds like we got thunder here. It's really the coconut telegraph in the Philippines. They are just connected all over somehow. Another thing with family, now this could happen even if you're living in an island apart. However, if you do live near family, you could end up having, let's say your wife's sister all of a sudden says, hey, can I spend a night or 2 nights? I just had a fight with my boyfriend, we broke up, can I just spend a couple nights with you? And the next thing you know, she's moved in. And that's not uncommon for Filipinos to bounce around from house to house here. You have to be careful with that. All of a sudden that one night turns into 2 weeks and maybe even longer. Now, this is where actually living in a condo can be good, because they have security and they've got rules about, you could maybe somebody be there a couple nights, but any longer and all of a sudden you have the issue of, do they need to be put onto the lease and things like that. So it's easier to get them moved out. It's more of a problem if you are living in a house that you own, or living out in the province and you're living there. This can happen even if you're living an island away. You may have a sister who says, hey, I'm going into Cebu and I want to find some work, and she may she may come out to Cebu to look for work, and all of a sudden she's ended up staying with you for a month. She couldn't find a job and she doesn't want to go back home and live with the family. So this can happen either way, but more so if you're living within the same city or the same island. And it's also a problem because you're probably going to live at a higher standard of living. So of course they want to come. They want to check out, they want to hang out on your Wi-Fi. They want to watch your Netflix and enjoy a regular bed and aircon and so it can very easily. And most of us Westerners, we like to be the knight in shining armor sometimes, and we say, sure, it's okay, and then all of a sudden your alone time with your spouse or your girlfriend is compromised. So there can be a lot of problems. So again, pros and cons for both. This isn't a video really to tell you which one to choose. You really got to figure it out yourself, but you just know that these things can happen out here in the Philippines, so you do have to be careful. So in my experience, the best of both worlds is to live around an hour or 2 hours away from family. She's close enough where she can go visit her family all the time. You're also close enough if you need somebody to watch your dog, or if you have a kid, you have somebody who can watch. You also have family nearby for special occasions, Christmas, very easy to get to. But at the same time, you don't have somebody who's right there who's going to be coming over for dinner every night of the week. And so for me, that has been the best. And again, this goes back to a previous video that I have about Filipinos being very clingy physically, and also, where are you, what are you doing? And if they have family around, that creates some separation for you. She can go back to visit her family for a couple of days, or maybe you don't want to go back to her little sister's birthday. Maybe she does, and she can go for a couple of days while you're away. So questions, comments, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you found this video useful or like it, please consider sharing it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. To that, should you or shouldn't you? And a lot of people, I was momentarily distracted. It's hard to get that separation time. Take 2.
I said, baby, just take it real